All right, we are live from Memphis, Tennessee. It is 9:01 somewhere. It's 7 something here. Welcome to the show. I'm your host and your hero, Kevin Cerrito, joined alongside, as always, Taylor James from the Madison Bottle Shop and High Point Grocery. Garrett Metts with us as well. We are live, and we're about to reveal the participating breweries for Virtual Memphis Beer Fest 2, and we also got a conversation coming up a little bit later on. Taylor, you want to tease that?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be reviewing a PowerPoint that yours truly made, and we're gonna be talking about what makes beer good.
What makes beer good? I think the first thing that we know makes beer good is if it is on the lineup for Virtual Memphis Beer Fest. Is usually a sign. It's usually a sign it's good. It's definitely a sign it's worth a try. But the conversation is going to be: is the beer what makes a beer good? And I can't wait. We'll have the results of your Twitter poll as well. That's
yeah. Got that. Yeah, we got with that finished up just right before the show. Wanted to give people plenty of time to vote, and kind of interesting actually. I'm definitely intrigued by the results.
And we're here every Friday. We moved to Fridays in February as we're drinking not a flagship beer. We're calling it what are we calling it?
We're calling it Flashback February, Kevin.
Flashback February.
We are revisiting beers that were important to not only us, but just craft beer drinkers in general. Specifically, this one, Garrett, I believe you said was your first craft beer?
Correct.
So big time beer for a lot of folks. And we'll be drinking that as we discuss good beers tonight.
So we'll go ahead and open it. We'll talk about it a little bit later on. But if you're drinking along with us, we do have a Fat Tire from New Belgium available at High Point Grocery and Cash Saver. Is any bread or milk still available at those two stores, Garrett?
Correct. Yes.
There is bread and milk available.
Yes, if you need your milk sandwiches.
Milk sandwiches on deck. Yes, definitely.
Get your milk, get your bread now at Cash Saver and High Point Grocery. So tonight, in addition to our conversation, we will be revealing the participating breweries for Virtual Memphis Beer Fest 2. So before we flash the graphics on here, Taylor, are you going to talk us through this? How do you want to do this?
I think we'll just we'll go up there and we'll run through them just real quick. We'll give our few thoughts if anybody else, of course, Garrett, want to step in and say something, but I'm excited about this lineup. I think that this lineup is definitely going to get people wanting to buy tickets. If you haven't bought your ticket already, I think once we announce it, you will definitely want to buy tickets. And because you're going to know these breweries make delicious beers, so I'm looking forward to it.
There's Garrett, you know this. There's two breweries we know are participating already. Everybody knows this going in. What are those two?
Which ones?
There's the two that are making it's 901 somewhere at the last festival. They said that they would make whatever beer that the festival named, and they're going to collaborate. Those two beers are, in fact, that one beer made by two breweries. And those two breweries, do you remember those, Garrett?
I was blackout drunk when you told me.
Oh my God!
It was at the end of the festival.
Why you've asked?
I'm going to assume Beale Street Brewing and Bosco's.
Yeah, those are. So we know we've got those two breweries involved. Now there's a total of 8 beers if you go on Saturday. There's a total of 3 beers for the VIP. It makes 11 beers. We know 2 of the breweries already collaborating for that beer. So we're announcing 11 total breweries tonight, right?
That would be correct. It is 11.
Well, really, we're announcing 9 because everybody knew those other 2. So let's start. Do you want us to start alphabetical order?
Oh, it's in alphabetical order. Look at you, man. That's smart. I don't know alphabetical. I don't know my alphabet, so I don't know. I can't remember what's starting. So I would guess
Beale Street and Bosco.
Beale Street probably start. Is Beale Street the first one? Probably.
Yeah, Beale Street and Bosco's at the top.
Oh, okay. That works out. Oh, well, that works out really nicely. It's kind of like we planned that. And then after that, I assume would be Crosstown
Brewing Company, the champions. It only makes sense that they're back to defend their title here. They won with Hatch Me Outside. Can they become 2-time champions? They won a couple of different categories. Very popular beer.
They did indeed. man, can we put the? I don't know I can't think of letters. What's the?
That's what D. Well, D.
Well, there's no.
Yeah, there is
No, there's not.
D.
Is there?
a D.
But Garrett, feel free to
The
jump
brewery
in.
that we brought in for this.
Oh, can we say that yet?
Are we saying it? Or are we not? I thought we were saying it. I thought we were announcing all. We're announcing all.
No,
all
we're gonna say it. No, we're gonna say it. Yeah. So I think I teased it.
We're not going to say it. We're not going to say it. We're going to say it.
We're gonna say it. I think I teased it a couple streams ago about a brewery coming from the Pac Northwest, and I can announce. I'm sure Eagle's okay with this. It's Deschutes Brewing out of Bend, Oregon. They are going to be debuting just a couple days before the fest in the market, and then we will be having them on our Friday night VIP run with a delicious beer of theirs. I'm not going to say what, but it is delicious.
So Deschutes. This is kind of breaking news.
This is breaking news. That is true.
There will be that beer is coming to the market and will be coming to the festival when it arrives. We're a month away tomorrow. So the next letter we got two H's. Two H's, like turning into Wheel of Fortune here.
I know, God, you're in. I'm having to think as well, and it's okay. It's cold, but I can still think. H. I know we've got Hampline that's going to be joining us, the newest Memphis brewery, going to be joining us with one of their first offerings. And then the other H is another brewery who was not at the beer fest last time. And that's going to be Highwire Brewing. Our friends over there, they've been on the show. Chris and Emily joined us when we were drinking their IPA. I can confirm it's not their IPA. They're not bringing that for the fest. They've got something really special in store for us. Kind of went above and beyond what I thought was going to happen. So be on the lookout for that. But our friends at Highwire are joining us this time.
So both of those new, Hampline and Highwire, new to the festival. Hampline brand new to making beer. Only been open here in Memphis for less than a month. That takes us. We've got a couple of the next two in the alphabet. Here are two that are also new. So we got kind of a five in a row, counting the shoots here of new breweries coming to the festival. One of them in Tennessee. One of them in Tennessee and in Shelby County.
So we've got from our friends on the east side of the state, we have Naked River out of Chattanooga. They are a new brewery to Memphis. If they have the Moon Pie Stout, if you've seen that out in the market, they're going to be sending a new offering to us to get to try on the fest. Talked with them the other day. Super nice guys. Really excited to be involved. Wanted a Tennessee brewery that was not a local brewery to be involved in. They made the most sense. And then our friends out in Cordova didn't join us last time, but they're coming this time. Meddlesome is going to be a part of the second Virtual Memphis Beer Fest. Excited for those guys to join us.
We're gonna have Meddlesome on the lineup. I'm so far. I did not say this when you did earlier, Taylor, but I'm echoing your enthusiasm for what we've got in store. Can't wait to announce the particular beers that we'll be having at the festival.
I know. I keep on each time I say the brewery name, I'm like, because I know what the beers are, and I'm like, oh wait, no, hold on, because I'm looking forward to drinking them with y'all and trying them. So and getting my hands on some of them as well. So
that leaves three more breweries to announce for the festival. You know where we are. We're still in the M. We're in the M's. We're still not part of the alphabet. So,
all right, okay, there we go. So, of course, we had to get our friends at Memphis Made to join us again after bringing Super Mega Fun to us, to the world. We had to invite them back.
Everybody had Super Mega Fun at Virtual Memphis Beer Fest, and it all was because of Memphis Made. It's why everybody had Super Mega Fun on that Saturday.
So definitely bringing them back. And then as well, we've got, I guess we're going alphabetical order. Another new one. We've got Trim Tab out of Birmingham, Alabama. They just launched into the market. Garrett, that was like a month ago, right? Yeah. Okay.
All 2021.
So far this year is kind of running together. It could have been last week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. But our friends at Trim Tab from Birmingham, they make really awesome stuff. Different. They have multiple different series of and those all rotate within themselves. So they have, if you go on their website, I think there are at least 50 different beers that they made last year. So we're going to be grabbing one, maybe two of those. We're going to see. We're going to see what they have, what they're offering. And then finally, our friends over at Wiseacre are also going to be coming back this year. We'll see if Clyde can get his redemption after being left out of the closing ceremonies last year. We'll see if we want to let him back in or if we just want to tell him. No.
We do. We want him back. So there you have it. This is the lineup, ladies and gentlemen of the breweries. I'm thrilled. We're expanding the reach a little bit, going outside of Shelby County, because when you think about it, we're thinking about Cash Saver, we're thinking about High Point Grocery. You've got the best beer selection in town because, yes, you've got the best local beer, but you also have the best regional and national beer offerings that you're able to have. And so there is, when you're drinking beer and when you're trying beer, it is important to have a little bit all of it. We're going local, we're going regional, we're going national. Bill Street Brewing Company, Bosco's, Crosstown, Deschutes, Hampline, Highwire, Naked River, Meddlesome, Memphis Made, Trim Tab, and Wiseacre. Garrett, what are your thoughts here? Are all these available at High Point? Will be?
Hampline is not currently available. Deschutes is not either, but they will be available there.
And that's what's exciting. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but that is what is somewhat of exciting. Deschutes is available nowhere in Memphis right now, and the same goes for Hampline. You have to go to their tap room to try their beer right now. So if you go to the festival, you'll have a can in your hand, guaranteed. And in Deschutes, you'll get it before anybody else in the market, and that's important, right, Taylor? Important is that we want you to have an experience here at the festival that you're not going to be able to recreate anywhere else in the world, really.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's what this is about. Is what you think about when you go to a beer fest and you get to have experiences. You're talking to the rep, you're trying a new beer, whatever it is, and you're having this really great time, or just getting to interact with other folks. And that is what we are doing here. We're able to safely interact with each other, try beers we haven't tried before, or maybe it was like, oh, I remember seeing that came out. I never tried it. I didn't really, what. Here, we're going to get to try it, and you're going to get to ask questions to the people that make it, sell it, are part of it, whatever it is, and get to have as close to a festival experience as we can have right now. And then, hopefully that'll help tide us all over until we can go to an actual beer festival again.
March 13th weekend is Virtual Memphis Beer Fest. 2 tickets on sale. Now I go to Virtual Memphis Beer Fest. .com. That's not the only thing that was announced about the festival in this past week. Last Friday, of course, we announced about Fraser Boy's participation. Fraser Boy will be leading the opening toast as we toast with It's 901 Somewhere. But we did reveal on Super Bowl Sunday. How about that game, Taylor? You were pretty right on with your prediction, I got to say.
Yeah, I had like 2 predictions and they just kind of coincided, because I did say the Bucs would win, but I said if the Chiefs were to win, they'd blow them out. So I almost had it all the way right. I did not. Garrett and I watched the game together. Neither of us thought that was going to happen, but I'm also not upset that it happened. So, my boy Tom making it happen.
So on Super Bowl Sunday, we announced one other exciting factor for the festival. Of course, we're back for another round at the Beer Fest, and also back for another round is Pancho's Cheese Dip. It is back. The great debate is going to happen at this festival. We've got Pancho's Cheese Dip. We're going to have the yellow dip. We believe. I'm pretty sure.
We are. Yeah. I confirm. Yeah, we are. I got my way in the first one, and we did Pancho's white cheese dip. We are going to go with the yellow this time. I think we're going to have a bunch of people who are saying, hey, I appreciate this. Don't get me wrong. I like this. I wish you had the white cheese dip like last time. It's going to happen, Kevin. It's going to happen.
We're going to settle the debate once and for all. White ponchos versus yellow ponchos. Taylor, you're gonna go down some team yellow, but I did enjoy the white. I'm glad you got me to revisit it. We'll talk more about it at the festival as we really, it's going to be on the schedule. Our ponchos debates. Garrett, you might have to moderate.
I'll try.
Are you unbiased in this conversation, or do you have strong feelings one way or the
No,
other?
it's white cheese dipper. Get the fuck out.
So,
I might need a new moderator.
This sounds really similar to like a thing that's going on currently.
We need to get a new moderator. I think we're going to get a new moderator for that.
That's
so ponchos will be at the beer fest as well. So Virtual Memphis Beer Fest, get your tickets. And now here's what the posters are going up this week. Of course, this delayed because of the ice storm and the snow, but you should be looking for these posters. They're coming up.
Trying to hold it down, man. Damn weather trying to hold us down. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So look for the poster at Cash Saver and High Point Grocery. Maybe we should run a contest or something with this. We'll figure it out. VirtualMemphisBeerFest.com. And if you want a discount on your tickets, you can become a patron at patreon.com/Cerrito. I know you missed bingo last night, Taylor. I once again put my hair on the line.
And what happened with that? What happened with that?
So my hair is on the line.
It looks like you still. It's on the line currently.
It is. We are currently on the line. What I said was like, I'll give one more because mainly in part because of you and the peer pressure of you. I was saying I didn't take it seriously. I didn't promote it outside of the streams. Like if I was serious, I should have been, putting social media post up and so I'm going to post on social media. I might even send out a newsletter blast about it. But my hair is on the line. Our patrons helped pick the number last night. It was picked at a random number based off of the bingo balls, but so we end up with 15. So if we have 15 new patrons and or subscribers on Twitch, before the end of the month, which means it's really a 2-week span. The other one was 10 weeks, so it's kind of cut in half, give you a little more options. Anyway, this is the number that we went with last week. 15 new patrons or subscribers by the end of the month. We already have 4. So we're down to 11 on that count. So if you become a patron at patreon.com/Cerrito, anytime before the end of the month, it will count towards that tally, and I will shave my head live. That's what I mean by saying my hair is on the line. I will shave it live.
Okay.
And I keep going back and forth on whether I actually want to do it. I don't really want to shave my hair. I don't want to shave my head live on the internet by any means. I really want to shave my head. But this morning before I went on live at 9, I was like, gosh, I wish I've already got those patrons because my hair was out of control. That's why I've got a hat on right now.
It's understandable. I mean, look, just join me. It's great. It's wonderful. We can't all have beautiful heads of hair like Garrett, so just go ahead and cut your hair.
Garrett's got great hair. If patreon.com/Cerrito, you also get discounts to Virtual Memphis Beer Fest too if you sign up. What's up? So we're on Fat Tire tonight. What about this beer?
So I have thoughts.
Sure.
This beer, I can honestly say this is not my favorite beer. I think I can say that. Not that it is technically bad. I think technically it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. But after revisiting it, I think this is definitely one where early on in drinking, like my palate wasn't as refined, and trying it was a lot of new flavors and stuff that I hadn't tried before or experienced before. And after kind of years of drinking other things, trying other things, going back to it, it definitely, I don't want to say it falls flat. I think that's unfair. It is very like simple. Like it's not super exciting. It's malty. It's a little bit sweet. But it's nothing that's going to like change your world. And I do think that is kind of the purpose of this beer. It's one of those craft crossover beers where like you're getting somebody who's been drinking, Budweiser, Yingling, whatever. And it's like, hey, like, why don't you try something that a craft brewery made and see what you think about it? And I think it won't scare off too many people, and they'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that can work. And you're going to see it a lot of places. So you're like, oh yeah, I remember trying whatever. And it becomes a familiar brand for people to try. But yeah, I'm kind of intrigued.
I was having that same thought in my mind. Like it tastes like a segue, that transition beer, the gateway beer, if you will, from the domestic over to the craft. Like it's the beer like somebody who just says they like the straight up Miller Lite or whatnot, if you drink and they're not into craft, they try this one. I do think they've got flavor, a little bit of like, okay, I can. Maybe I should sample some stuff. That's exactly what it tasted like to me.
Yeah.
Garrett, this is a beer I know near and dear to your heart. We all know this. What do you think about it tonight here on February 12th, 2021?
Well, I feel like you were throwing some shade at Miller Lite a second ago, so I don't really appreciate that because I would drink Miller Lite every day, twice on Sundays over this beer. But no, I think us as Memphians, and I used to work for the company, so it's it's kind of sounding like I'm biased, but I just think us as Memphians, when we think amber ale, what do we think? We think Fireside, and Fireside is a completely different kind of amber than this. This is I don't want to call it thin because it's not a thin. Like a lot of the times when like you have a thin beer, there's a problem when it was brewed. And I don't obviously they don't have a problem when they're brewing this because they're a giant company, but it's just not as it's not as thick as like Fireside Amber is. And again, I mean, that's why I think people when they drink Fireside, they are like, wow, this is like no other beer I've had, like amber wise, because it is a little different. But I think that's just kind of made my mind think that like that's what I want out of an amber ale is what Fireside is: thicker, roastier, like more caramel to it, a little bit sweeter. This is a less offensive style, I believe, of the amber, which is fine. But sometimes me as a craft beer drinker, I'd rather have a more. Sometimes I want to be offended a little bit by the beer. Sometimes I want there to be a little bit more going on, a little more, a little more complex. But do I think it's a bad beer? No. There's a reason that it's one of the best-selling craft beers in America. But I think it's because of how accessible it is. And sometimes you have to lose out on a little bit of quality and taste when you make things accessible, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be, and they change it because I mean it's based off of they're like Belgian beer. I mean, like that's how this whole company started, was a trip to Belgium and all this stuff. And I don't know if it's the yeast strain they use. It's just like a house yeast strain that they have, and I think that is definitely imparting something in there that I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Not that I don't, like I said, not that I think it's bad. It's just not that it's not grabbing me. It's not grabbing me. And I do think, at this point, it's like how if I'm drinking something like a Miller Lite, Coors Light, whatever it is, and it's supposed to be just like cold drinking beer, then I don't want anything going on. But if I'm gonna go out and get a craft beer, like I want something going on. I want some fun hop thing going on. I want some weird malty thing going on. And this definitely toes that line, kind of between these two worlds. And it makes 100%, makes sense. Why it's one of the best-selling beers and why it's continued to be one of the best-selling beers. It is simple, approachable, and fits a really specific category that needs it.
So it's almost like you're saying that flavor is what makes a beer good to you.
Well, actually, I have a specific. Yes, it does matter, but there's something that, not saying that doesn't matter, but something matters more to me. It didn't matter to Twitter though.
What makes the beer good? But my last thought on Fat Tire real quick. Garrett bringing up Fireside just now. It's going to make it hard for me to really enjoy this one because when you make a point when locally you can buy what is an outstanding amber. And now it's in the back of my mind.
Side, I think if you tried them side by side, that's what you need. We need to go run and grab a Fireside 6-pack and then try it with this and see how we actually feel.
I had one early at the brewery, so maybe that's also why I'm feeling this way about this beer.
Maybe
ruining Fat Tire for all of us now.
Hey, luckily New Belgium makes a bunch of other really great beers that I would drink all the time.
That's
not to say anything on New Belgium.
No, New Belgium is awesome. And
even this beer, if you're at a restaurant and because of the accessibility that y'all both mentioned, of this beer, there's a good chance when we get to go back to restaurants, Fat Tire is your craft option, and it's not having one.
Yeah, if I went to some bar and if it was just a lot of domestic options and I wasn't feeling that, and this was on the menu, I wouldn't have an issue in ordering one for sure.
I'd still get a Miller Lite instead.
Hey, guess what? For you Miller Lite drinkers out there, I do have something special for you. But yeah, I do, whether or not we think this beer is good, we all have thoughts on beers of whether they're good or not. And I sat there when I was trying to think, like, what are things I want to talk about? And this was one of the things of what makes a beer good, because good means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So I posed the question to Twitter. We got about 30 responses on it. And the overwhelming winner was taste. That got 45% of the vote. Surprising here, number 2 was true to style, which really threw me off. So I definitely and we're gonna get into that and talk about it. And then tied for third was consistency. And I don't know, beer's just good, because some people just don't care. They just like, it's beer, so it's supposed to be good. So I did think taste was going to win, because I do think that for most people that is what matters. But true to style really threw me off.
You didn't have a label design on there.
I did not. And because I was like, man, what I knew I wanted to put in there just the beer's good, because some people just don't want to. Right. I don't know. They don't want to really think about it very much, and that's okay. I think that's totally fine. But anyway, so I worked really hard on this. I worked for like 3 days on this, and I'm sorry I don't know how to make my screen work, so you're just gonna have to see my taskbar. But I made this wonderful PowerPoint called "What Makes a Beer Good" by Taylor.
What
James.
Makes a beer good? By Taylor James.
Now, if you were to ask Garrett Metts what makes a beer good, he'd probably have the same answer as one Guy Fieri, and that would be drinking a Miller Lite, hanging out by the river. That's what makes a beer good. Am I right, Garrett?
Yeah, that's why I fuck with Guy Fieri.
Yeah, he's awesome. Absolutely love it. So I was so happy to see he was a Miller Lite drinker. That made me happy. But real simply.
Oh, wow. You have a.
Oh, Kevin, I am ready. And you be ready. So when you get a beer, you're going to ask yourself, is the beer good? And if the answer is yes, well, it's real simple. That's a good beer. You found a good beer. Good job. Congratulations. If the answer is no, well, it's gross. You got a bad beer. You don't like it. You're unhappy. If you don't know, well, hey, you don't know. Let us help you talk your way through this, and let's see if we can figure out whether or not if you think this beer is good. Let's figure out why you like it. So first off, we have taste. Maybe you love the taste, which 45% of you did. Maybe you like that it's crisp and clean, or maybe you like that it's hoppy or malty, or you like that roasty, toasty, little dark thing going on, a little bit smoky. Maybe you like fruit. Maybe it's a sour. Maybe you're just happy with what's going on with the taste there. And Andy and Drew here from Memphis Made have done they've done the research trying to figure out what how we make that beer taste delicious. I believe those are some legal tools that they are using in there. Garrett, you can confirm or deny if those are legal beer tools.
They don't own legal beer tools.
That's what I thought. But we get to consistency. And now, spoiler alert, this is what I think, Matt. This is what matters the most to me in making a beer good. That every time you drink that beer, it tastes the exact same as the last time you had it. If we were in 6 months to buy Fat Tire again, I guarantee you it tastes the exact same. It wouldn't be any different. It's always the same. They always nail it. It's perfect. And that's where quality matters. These breweries are coming up with, they're spending millions of dollars on the bigger breweries, and even smaller breweries spending what they can on, the science side of it, making sure these beers are technically as perfect as possible, and doing the research and doing all that. But there's also other factors. Clean glassware can make a difference in consistency. If you don't drink it from a clean glass each time, that could change things. Correct temperature. If the beer is out of temp, that could also change it. So there's a lot of little, and consistency is one of those things that can get dinged really easily, I think, personally. But I think consistency for me is the most important.
But it all kind of goes back to taste, right? So to interrupt the presentation, because this has taste in it too.
Correct. But yeah, but hey, you could have an overwhelming taste, and maybe one time it's really good, but then the next time it's maybe more subtle. Maybe you did the fruit differently or something. So if you consistently use the same fruit or whatever, hops, whatever, I think you'll have a good beer. And then here's the surprising one. Like, this one surprised the hell out of me because I kind of put this one on there as like, I won't say a throwaway, but a little bit of a throwaway, even though I do think this is important for beer. But having the beer be what it says it is on the label, that it is true, that I'm drinking an American IPA, and if you look up the guidelines of an American IPA, it's an American IPA. Some brewers think traditional is the way to go, and some like to push. Weisstefan, they have been brewing since like 1046 or whatever, and they're the oldest brewer in the world, and they brew their beer the same way every time. And then you have Evil Twin, who they put money in beer, or donuts or pizza or whatever the hell they want. They don't care about style. Styles just don't matter to them. They just want to make crazy beer. So if you are a fan of true to style, you are going to be very limited. Garrett, would that be the right way to say it? Like, limited in what beers you're going to enjoy?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you can also, take variations and, sub styles of the style you're doing, and that kind of expands the portfolio, but then that's not technically true to style then.
Yeah. Styles are evolving so much. I mean, New England IPAs weren't a thing a few years ago, like in style guides. Now they are, and they're everywhere, and everyone loves them. So that is a thing that's always evolving, but I do feel like the true to style people are very much a traditionalist. They want their amber ale, they want a brown ale, they want their IPA to be an IPA. They don't want anything weird in it. They just want hops. That's all they want. So a small subset of people, but I think a very loud subset of people in a way. And then I want to talk about the other side of it too. What makes a beer bad? Well, there are specific technical things that can make it bad. And so this, if you've ever had a beer and one of these things has happened to you, where it tastes like butter, buttery, or butter popcorn, butterscotch, whatever it is, or it tastes like cardboard. There's reasons for that. It is infected. And so it's got various things, whether it's a diacetyl thing. Maybe it's oxidized. So it tastes like cardboard. That just means it's old and it has oxidized. It happens. If it tastes real gross, maybe the line's infected where you're at. So you can't really fault the beer there. You got to fault, the place you're drinking it. But these are technical things that could make a beer bad. They're not really open to discussion. Like if a beer has one of these things, it's bad. There's no question about it. It's just bad.
By definition, bad.
Yes, by definition, bad. But there are also things that maybe make a beer bad to you because you just don't like it. You're not a fan of that style. You don't like IPAs. You drink an IPA and you don't like it. Well, it's not really the beer's fault. That's just you don't like IPAs.
I love that you put Newcastle up here.
Well, yeah, for a reason as well. For a reason. Maybe the branding of the label's bad. Just look at what's going on here. This is not good. This is not a good label. This is not something that makes me want to pick this up.
Too much going on.
People think I care about labels, but I know firsthand that you care.
I wanted to put a different label on here, but I held off. So I picked this one instead. This was number 2. Maybe it's overhyped. I think this, and I don't know if this has happened to either of you or anybody out there or whatever. There have been beers where somebody's been like, "Oh, dude, have you tried beer X?" No, I haven't got to try it. Dude, you got to try it. It's like the best beer I've ever had. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then you get an opportunity to try it, and you try it, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's not anything special. So that could, if that does happen, that could give, some negative connotation to that beer where you're like, I don't know, not really into it. That has happened to me before. There have been beers where I've had people tell me about them, and I've tried it, and I'm like, I mean, I could just go get something every day at my store or wherever that is just as good or better, that's cheaper and available on an everyday basis. And that's the other thing too, if it's too expensive. If you pay $20, whatever, for a bottle, you buy like one bottle for like $20. Dogfish Head has had like $40 4-packs before. And if you don't like it, you're like, well, damn, that's not good. I don't like anything about that. So that could skew it. Also, it not tasting the same. And I learned something today. Both of you, I learned something.
What was it?
So the reason I put Newcastle up here, because this is of beers, and Garrett, I think you've probably heard this too, of beers where people go, man, it just doesn't taste the same. Doesn't taste the same. Newcastle is one that always comes up, that it's not the same. Oh, it's you know, it used to be so good, whatever. I hear it all the time. I did not know this, but Lagunitas is making Newcastle now.
That makes sense because of the Heineken.
Because of the Heineken deal. So
Yeah.
so Heineken purchased Lagunitas. They purchased half of them, and then they purchased all of them a few years back. And so they are actually brewing Newcastle now. And this is one where I need to go back and try this because it's been so long. But if you even look in this picture, this old Newcastle bottle coming in a clear bottle, new Newcastle comes in a brown bottle, which is better for beer. So I kind of find that interesting.
I wonder if it's just hoppy as shit now.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe that's why. I don't
If
know.
it's Lagunitas, I would expect it.
We're gonna have to try it. We're gonna have to do that. We'll do a special off-stream tasting in Newcastle. So in summary, here are my thoughts.
It's a great summary.
Most beers are good. I think most beer is good. This beer, it's good. It's fine. Is it my favorite? No, but it's good. And I think most beers that way. I think most beers are just tasty. I mean, you're buying a beer, you're happy. I do want people. I do want people to try new things. I think you need to be willing to, I don't know, be disappointed with beer, or like you need to. Don't just buy beers that you're like, oh yeah, for sure I'm gonna like that. Make a six. If you go, if you're making a 6-pack, you're gonna grab a couple beers to try. Grab 2 or 3 that you're like for sure gonna dig those, and then grab 1 or 2 that you're like, I don't really know how I feel about that. And see if you like it. You may surprise yourself, or you may confirm something about your palate and about things that you like. I am a firm believer that there is a beer for everyone. You just have to be willing to be open and try things and let people suggest things for you. Don't shut things down. Craft beer is for everyone, and there is a beer for everyone. And finally, brewing is an art form. It really is. These brewers are doing amazing things with ingredients and creating wonderful, consumable pieces of art. And, I think that is really cool. That makes beer good. Just what brewers, the time and effort that they are putting into making a product for us. But hey, maybe you think this is all that's just crap and you're like, whatever. And, in the immortal words of Charles, Papazian, I guess that's how you say it. Honestly, I didn't look. This guy founded the Great American Beer Fest. He founded the American Homebrewers Association. He's been a part of the beer world for a very, very long time. And sometimes the best beer in the world is just the one in your hand. So,
So you're saying Bad Tire is the best.
Hey, man, there's an open beer and it's cold and it's in my hand. So I guess that's the best beer. So, hey, what do I know about if a beer's good or not?
What a great PowerPoint presentation!
Hey man,
I think I learned.
I don't half-ass, Kevin. I whole-ass. You know that. So
I think I learned quite a lot. But takeaway there. So you're saying, but our conclusion, there was no right or wrong answer to your survey.
No, there's not. I think that's there. You can argue your point, I think, all day long. I can talk about consistency all day long to people, but someone who doesn't think that it's consistency and thinks it's taste is going to think it's taste. And someone who thinks beer should be beer and, the German Reihenskabot is the way to go because beer should only be brewed with these 4 items. Like you're always going to believe, that's the right way, but they're all right for them. They all, and like you said, when I was talking about consistency, you said, well, that's kind of taste. They all work together. You can't, right. To have a good beer, they all have to work together in a way.
Well, here's my thing. I think I kind of disagree. I not disagree with consistency, but I kind of disagree that it's like a subjective thing. I mean, I do personally believe that it's pretty cut and dry that consistency is what makes a beer good because, as you kind of roughly stated earlier, that if it tastes good one time, it doesn't taste the same the next time, then you don't think it tastes good anymore. I think that matters. And then true to style. if you think it's true to style, but it's true to style the first time you had it, and the second time you're like, okay, well, this doesn't really taste like it's lagered anymore, or something like that. I mean, it's just, I think the consistency is what makes a beer good, because it's what's making you buy it over and over again. And then that's the sign of something being good is, we've got a guy that comes in and he buys Beck's, like that's his thing. He buys a lot of it, and it's because it's consistent and it's the same form every single time that he drinks it. And, we got people that come in and get a Nanda, and they're like, I like it because it just tastes, it's my favorite IPA, and it's because it tastes the same every single time. So, I mean, I do think that is what makes a beer good. I think personally, I mean, yes, it can be, like I love the way it tastes, but I'm not going to keep buying that beer if it doesn't taste the same every single time.
I see what you're putting it more like the actual product, the brand. You're putting like what makes it a Hall of Famer like debate that you'll have in sports. Like it's like that, because you could have, because even if it's inconsistent, you could get one that is really good of the inconsistent beer, but you didn't like, so like you're putting like, we're talking bigger picture, like this is like what makes this particular beer good, but not necessarily the one that's in my hand.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, when you're thinking what makes a beer good, you're thinking, what this one, I mean, unless it's like a beer that's only going to be made one time and then never again, which, I mean, then that you probably won't be able to remember later on, down the line that was like a good beer. But yeah, I mean, like I just, I think that you have to be consistent in how it tastes for it to be considered good. And I mean, when I was at Memphis Maine, I mean, I can say firsthand that there was times that we would, pump out seasonals and they would taste a little different. Like each time we would pump it out, because there'd be little tweaks here and there to it. And each variation was good, but it wasn't, consistently the exact same. Unlike how I think Fireside is. I think Fireside's consistent. I think the cores are really consistent. Just for most breweries are, but there are some of those smaller breweries out there that will put a beer out and each batch kind of tastes different.
And as long as like the brewery is open about it, like, hey, this year's seasonal. Now I'm not okay with it if it's a year-round thing, and they're like, oh, this batch turned out like this, right? Whatever. No. That's a year-round beer. It's supposed to be the same every time. Now, seasonal to seasonal, if it's like, hey, this one got it. As long as you're open about it, but like, don't be like, this tastes differently. No, it's the exact same. It's like, I don't really think so. So I think I do think, yeah, seasonal. And I think too, it's like, I'm okay with it too if you improve it, right? Like if you're like, hey, we do believe the brewer says, hey, I think this was an issue. I didn't like this about the beer. I can make it better. Then, hey, then you have even more of my respect, because you analyzed your work and looked at what you did, and you said, I want to give a better product to people. I think I love when, that is great too. See, it's very,
you can't have a good batch. You can have a good batch of beer, but it doesn't necessarily mean that beer is a good beer, because that was just one batch, because the next batch may not be great. I'm just realizing in this whole conversation that something I missed. There's so many things we miss, right, from the pre-COVID days, the pre-pandemic days. But there is something really fun, if you really like beer, to go to tap rooms and you try that stuff that's tap room exclusive, right? Because that's the stuff. That's the stuff that they are trying. They're trying different things with those all the time. So like it may be totally different the next time you have it, because this could be the first batch, this could be the second batch, maybe completely different because it's that tap room exclusive, and they're trying to perfect that before you start seeing it in other places. So it's kind of a part of that fun that we really can't have right now. But maybe some of these beers at Virtual Memphis Beer Fest will be a little sneak peek into some things that are being tried or maybe perfected as they put them into a can coming up at Virtual Memphis Beer Fest too.
Agreed. I'm with you there. Yeah, I think being a part of that process of going to tap rooms and giving feedback. Giving feedback is important. You should give you see Garrett and I in the store, and you got thoughts about the beer. Give us feedback. Let us know. We're here. We are all here to make beer better for you. And that's what we're trying to do. For the Virtual Memphis Beer Fest, I think we put a question out there, listen to stuff, and we made some adjustments. We made some changes to how we approached this second one, and I think it is going to be better. I think we improved upon what we did.
We had the conversation last night during bingo, Taylor, that you missed was too many IPAs last year. It came up. It always comes up when you're not there. I'm like,
Sure.
Taylor, trust me. They're always telling me. And I try to go back and count. I think we had 3.5 IPAs, but it was too many for everyone.
Well, I think those folks are going to be happy. And I tell you, if you
like IPAs, you'll be happy as well.
For all the non-IPA drinkers, they'll be happy for next week. Because we're going with one, and again, I cannot think of the last time I drank a Fat Tire. I don't know, not sure. But this next one, I really can't think of the last time I had this one. And it's a beer that we sell a ton of. People love it. Typically, only maybe some people only drink it once a year. But I can tell you that next week, guys, we're drinking Guinness. Guinness draft from a can. We're going Guinness draft from a can. We're not going extra stout. I'm not going that far. Not going full motor oil. We're gonna go with Guinness draft, and I am going to convince you guys. Garrett, you probably already know, but Kevin, you're that way.
All right.
I will convince you that Guinness is a light beer.
Oh yeah, you got to convince me of that.
I can.
You're gonna convince me next week.
Yeah, may even use science.
Yep.
I'll use facts. I'll use facts and science to convince you that Guinness is a light beer. And you out there, if you don't think Guinness is a light beer, you're going to leave next week going, oh, Guinness
Garrett,
is
what pairs well with the Guinness?
And that it is not vegetarian to have Guinness.
Oh, yeah. We are going to have that really tough conversation and probably ruin some folks' days.
Oh, wow.
That's a good point. I'm glad you said that. We do need to bring that up probably.
That is exciting, and it's perfect for this. Even though it's a light beer, it's great for the weather that we're having.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's both. It's both at the same time. It can be good for the weather. It can be good for the cold weather, but it can still be a light beer. So
it's possible.
Multifaceted beer. So we'll be doing that next week.
And we'll have more Beer Fest news. We should. The plan for next week, we're going to reveal something else about the festival next week. It may be the actual beers.
You may get the actual beers next week. I think we may be able to do that next week. I feel very confident we'll be able to do that next week.
We know the breweries. We announced those earlier, but what are they making?
And what are you hoping for? Let us know what you're kind of hoping to see. And we'll see. We'll see if maybe we didn't guess what you want.
So that's coming up next week. So as far as for me, I'll be back playing bingo on Sunday night. So if you're looking for something to do with your date on Valentine's Day that's safe and virtual.
Oh, you're doing Valentine's Day bingo?
We're having Valentine's Day bingo, 8:30 start here. We'll be on Twitch. Make sure you're over on our Twitch channel, 8:30 start for Valentine's night bingo. And then we're playing again on Thursday nights because we've been playing every Thursday. Trivia talks are coming up a week from Saturday with some prizes brought to you by the Madison Bottle Shop's parent company, Cash Saver, and High Point Grocery. No more growlers.
No more growlers. Yeah, we're done. We're done with that. We're done with that. We're moving on. We're moving on to package. Actually, Garrett and I met with the distributor yesterday. We were going to do a big reset on our craft cold box next Wednesday. So going to be looking a little different after next Wednesday. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, wow. Well, so I want to see pictures for the show next week.
Oh, yeah. It's going to look clean, going to look good.
What can they pick up, Garrett? If you're going to grab Guinness, what else is out there right now that people should be anything limited time, anything new or exciting?
Got a bunch of new trim tab stuff in. We got from New Belgium, we have Wild Ride, which is their anniversary Amber IPA.
That one's on fire. That one's on absolute fire right now.
It's their 30th anniversary beer for that. We also have, I just brought in a new session IPA from Wicked Weed. Shout out to my boy Brent, the rep for them.
What's up, Brent?
Appalachia is the name of the beer. Also just got some variety packs from Highwire in, who's going to be at the beer festival. It has a Bed of Nails, which is their brown ale, high pitch, low pitch, and then the Brewer's Choice. And I actually haven't even looked in this variety pack to see what the Brewer's Choice is. So if you want to know, you got to go down there and buy one. So got those in at both stores.
Sneaky.
And
so lots of options to stack up with because we've got more winter weather coming. So when you're grabbing your milk and you're refilling when you're milking your bread.
Go
Yeah,
by
get
and
their-
speaking
get
of
their,
bread, speaking of bread, go by and get the Abita PB&J lager.
Ooh, is that at both stores?
Correct.
PB&J lager. I got to get that. I know Memphis's truck is hit for Memphis made.
And just today, I'm not sure about Midtown, but I know High Point has Red Handed, which is my favorite Memphis made beer when we were making. When I was still working there, is the alt beer with chicory added. So if you like chicory, this is all you. If you don't like chicory, don't touch it.
I like coffee, and I like Memphis's truck in a town where it's a lot of pressure when you're making a coffee beer because you got to get up to get down. Is on the shelves. Like Memphis made it an outstanding job. It's my favorite thing to drink last year at the tap room.
They did a better job, but yeah, go ahead.
Quite possibly, because it's like more of that cold brew coffee taste to it. So if you're a cold brew,
the coffee used in Memphis's truck is at High Point as well. Our friends over at French Truck, we got that coffee roast in there as well now.
so so you can stock up in case the entire city is shut down. You can just homebrew it yourself. Try to make your own recipe.
Exactly.
With
Just
coffee.
just reverse engineer it. You can make it happen.
Hey, I'm looking forward to next week. Taylor, always a pleasure. Garrett, thank you for being here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in here live. If, of course, you ever missed the show, you could go watch on YouTube or subscribe to Cerrito on, where are we on? Everything. Wherever you get your podcast.
Wherever you need us to be, that's where we're at.
So you watch YouTube. We're on Twitch for 2 weeks before they delete them all afterwards. So anyway, tune in, watch us, and we will see y'all again back here next week with some more beer festivals. I think we might announce the beers. I think that would be cool.
I'll do it. I'll be nice. All right.
As Taylor said, did this fall? You said, did it fall flat? It fell fat for sure. Your fat tire.